I'm a fucking idiot.
Oh,
Yeah.
say it again, Casey.
I may or may not have forgotten to unmute for the music for the past 5 minutes. I'm gonna kill myself. Sorry.
It's only 5 minutes. We're fine. It's fine.
Anyways.
Hasn't been listening to us for the past 5 minutes.
No.
It'd be
one...
funny if they're listening. Honestly, all they would hear is your house is haunted and me still gushing about League lore.
And my hands would be cold.
Oh yeah, I'm being cold.
That's it.
Alrighty. Hello. Oh, hold on. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. My name is Eli. I am your acting archivist / dungeon master for this campaign here on the 20-sided archives. We are playing Chronicles of Umaria, Chapter 1, Shadow Falls. As always, I am joined by Thevin Winterfall, played by Jared.
Howdy.
Chisel Havard, played by Brian.
Hello.
And Redwood of Velico Travel, played by Casey.
The ghosts in my basement are singing.
Okay, Casey, microphone. Brian.
Sit up.
Bud? Please
He's
sit up.
Brian wants to be half-faced today.
Please sit up. Or at least bring
He
your
is.
microphone closer so people can hear you.
This is actually as close as it gets.
Without you having to sit up.
Yeah.
Mm. Sit up then.
Casey has fallen out of his chair.
And his
Oh.
brain froze.
Oh dear.
A great start.
I think he unplugged something.
Oh, I think
100% unplugged something. Technical difficulty is Casey has died.
he's literally fallen out of his chair and his camera froze mid-fall.
Oh no. He 100% kicked something and turned off his... He probably turned off his PC, which would be funnier.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's still on Roll20.
He hasn't disconnected.
Hang on. What a start to the episode, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even cause the chaos this time.
It's not even 8 minutes into the stream and we are already a mess.
Having issues.
This is hilarious. This is the funniest thing that could have happened today. Hang on. I'm gonna text him, ask him if he's good. He probably broke something.
Probably. That...
He was struggling and then just fucking died.
His camera's loading for me. I'm not sure if it brought y'all.
It's loading.
Yep, still
Yeah.
loading.
I'm texting him. I asked him if he was okay.
Oh,
there he
goes. he is finally passed on. From this point onward, I shall take upon the mantle of Redwood and absolutely destroy his character.
Oh, he messaged me. Hold on. The floor, his computer crashed.
Oh!
No.
The ghost got him. We were talking about his basement being haunted. The ghost got him.
Oh my god. Sorry,
A little
everybody.
late for Halloween, but just in time for Thanksgiving.
Oh my god. Give us a moment, everyone, while we wait for our friend to return. Oh, that's so funny.
Till then, Arcane. Anywho, where were we?
No.
He's restarting his computer. Oh my god. Nothing will live up to that today. Oh my god.
Unless if someone, like, fails at a roll.
Or causes something.
Jared. I'm not the
Oh.
Chaos Gremlin this time, so Jared.
So this, actually, yes, for anyone who doesn't know our D&D group, yeah, this is, for us, a flipping of the scripts. For everyone else, an introduction.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
So for context, I I have a gimmick where I usually just randomly wander and see what happens. I haven't done that once.
Yeah.
Welcome back
Also,
to Dick.
typically, when someone says, I have a plan, if Brian says it, there's a sense of dread for everyone else. I get excited because shenanigans are about to occur.
You
How
okay?
was your fall?
How are you? Are you doing okay?
He did fall over last week.
No,
I
but
hit
you
the
were also
floor, and everyone was quiet, and I was just laughing, and I said "ow" really loudly, and no one was responding. I sit back up, and I see a half frame of me falling, and everything else.
I messaged him on both. I texted you both on your phone and through the Discord. I was like, "Are you okay?" And then you were like, "Everything crashed." When
I
you
sent the message. I hit the floor. My computer crashed.
so good. Oh my god, I need
Totally
to
fine, but it was so funny because it was like one of those preserved falls where I'm like holding on to stuff to stop falling.
hit the floor so hard everything broke. Oh my god.
I didn't even unplug anything.
I said that you probably hit your foot on your computer and turned it off on accident, but that's just even funnier.
I was looking around. I like pulled my computer out just to see if anything was unplugged. Nothing was unplugged. It just didn't like me hitting the floor.
Discord itself was laughing at you.
Making the ground shake.
Danny, a friend of ours, says, I ate him.
Wait, did he message the general chat? Is he watching?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's watching! Everyone-
Hi, Danny.
Hi, Danny. Our lore master Danny is in the chat. Gotta love Danny, otherwise I would not remember half of the shit that goes on in this campaign, so cheers to you, my friend.
You are no
Ellipses
longer.
fan.
You are no longer
Anonymous. You are no longer anonymous to us.
We've said his name on here before
I
as the
don't
lore
think he's
master.
actually watching the stream. I think he's just responding to the message in the general chat. Casey, are you okay?
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, that's what...
So revoke everything we said about him. Fuck you.
Danny, every nice thing I ever said about you, I take it back.
He's gonna. The best part is he watches these later, so he's gonna see this. When I post these on the YouTube, he will be listening back to everything that happens in the show and will probably mark that down.
Okay.
Hi,
In which
Danny.
case,
I'm
hi,
not taking
Danny.
anything back.
Danny, I know you can't see me right now,
You're
but I am
still one of
flipping
my
you off.
favorites.
That is a lie. He is not flipping you off. Don't listen
Well,
to
now
him.
I am.
Anyways, before we get too off track by the hilarity of what just happened, last where we had left off, our companions here, Chisel, Redwood, Shrub, and Theven, who has now recently been freed of Barun and his curse, and is now instead a lycanthrope. The first of his kind for many generations to come,
I am
are
unbound.
are now within the sanctuary of the Golden Sanctum that has been blessed by the gods themselves as holy ground, protected from even the weather of the winter outside in the rest of Umaria currently. These large, tall, jagged cliffs acting like a cradle for this temple of people. It is a beautiful sight to see. Very, very warm, very nice for everybody within our lovely group here. You all had, after returning to the Havard homestead in order to confront Bolbit about his plans, with the help of Ulron and his draconic children, intimidating Bolbit into confessing, and then leaving the mountains of the Knotted Rise, you all had arrived on his back before he left to go and handle other matters in another land across the ocean. You
One that
all...
we did not know existed.
One that you guys did not know existed because your worlds are very small.
But now we do, and it's in my sights.
Technically, it's not in your sights. It's just past the horizon.
Shut up.
Metaphorically speaking.
But it is here that we continue on. The our companions have... It's currently nighttime for you guys. You were all within a guest home within the Golden Sanctum village that surrounds this massive sort of Aztec-like temple that is incredibly smooth and not made of like a block sort of material and that has been stacked on each other because the gods themselves made this place. It's that ancient and that important. You do get a knock of like a wooden staff against the wood of the home with its thatched roof. Each of you, it's a large enough home that each of you have your own rooms, your own private space to be in for however long you intend to stay within the bubble of the Golden Sanctum. But you hear a knock of a staff against the wood of the outside door frame. And
Seven's already outside. Oi, yeah?
oh, you see Nuntius, who just did not see you when he approached the door because it's like dark as fuck outside because natural lighting, like the lightings of the home is like very dim and very low. But he looks to you and he goes, "Oh, I did not realize that you... I came to request you all for dinner. The council would like to meet with you. And your
Hey, okay,
companions."
great. Devin slams on the wooden door as hard as he can as he yells, Oi! Chisel! Redwood! Food!
Oh my
Can I
god.
just say, Chisel would be highly startled and just chucks one of his carving tools at the noise.
You throw... I would like you to go ahead and just roll me a ranged attack.
That would be plus my dex for that.
Yes, but you do not have This is an improvised weapon, so don't add your proficiency.
Imagine
Yeah,
it's in that 20 and it throws like Captain Boomerang as it goes out the window hitting Devin.
18.
Here! With an 18, 7, you're like sitting there leaning against the wall, you slam your hand very, very hard against the wood of the door frame. Because there isn't doors yet, it's just like an animal skin covering that kind of blocks it. But you slam your hand as hard as you can against the wood, and the structure of the house in general just kind of shakes. Especially as you yell. And Chisel, in your startled state, your room is like right next to where Theven slammed his hand. You chuck this carving tool at him, and Theven, you just hear a and you look and you see like an inch of that chisel, like that chisel's carver tool poking out from the wood of the house. Like,
And it's not wood carver's tools, it's stone carving tools.
yeah, it's like stone carving tools. So it's this big, thick hunk of stone from this thing, just like jutting.
Looking at the tool, looking back at Chisel. Nice instinct slide.
You've gotten better at that.
Yeah.
Aye,
Redwood
has.
is laying in a sleeping cot next to Chisel, and Chisel's arm was right over Redwood's face with a throw. He's just sitting there.
You have your own room, Redwood. Are you sure you're sitting with Chisel in his?
I figured we were together. He was
Oh,
knocking on the door for both of us.
I think
Well,
so the walls, because they're just simple wood, they're rather thin. It's not like logs. It's still basically like you can still hear someone if they're shouting. Theven just decided to be obnoxious.
Well, I didn't know what they were
Waking
doing.
up
I had to
our
make sure.
entire, neighbors, too.
It's not that late. It's only like 6:30, 7 o'clock.
A mild disturbance.
A mild disturbance. I think Nuntius looks to you, Theven, and goes, "For the peace of our sanctum, please keep it down."
Ah, right. You sheltered folks like a quiet, like Redwood.
We have children here.
I didn't cost nothing. I just told them to come out here.
I understand that, but there are...
Have you heard? Children, they're louder than me.
Nuntius just kind of sighs and goes, "I will be a little ways down the path for when you and your companions are ready." And he, with his walking staff that you didn't see him with the last time that he was with you guys. Again, because he's now wearing robes that show he had kind of been quote unquote promoted, so he's a little higher status now. As he just kind of waits further down the path where there's like a magical sort of light lamppost made of like this twisted stone with a ball of flame up top.
Now, question.
No, I'm thinking it's just mage light.
So, walking with the staff, is it just a ceremonial thing, like, hey, part of his new attire, or is he, like, relying on it?
Roll me an insight check.
Alrighty then.
May I roll as well?
You're not outside, unless you are.
I was walking outside, yes.
Okay, then I will let you roll me an insight as well.
I'm more distracted on taking out the chisel.
Yes, you are a little bit more distracted. I think you arrive outside too late for you to really see Nuntius walking. Seven, you're looking... I don't think you're actually really paying attention too much to the way that Nuntius walks. I also don't think you paid too much attention to it when you guys had first interacted with him and traveled with him to Emmanuel. So So I think that it's just like for you guys, it's like, oh, it's just part of his attire. Redwood, are you outside?
Redwood was rolling up his sleeping bag that he did have in Chisel's room. You know, safety in numbers. And he gets everything rolled up, he puts his stuff away. And yeah, he eventually comes out. Though I think it's too late to watch Nuntius.
Drub steps out after you, following behind you. And kind of just looks around and goes, "It's really pretty here. I really like it. Can we stay?"
It's very pretty, but I don't think we should stay here.
I vote for staying.
I don't want to sound offensive to you, Chisel, but there's too much stonework around here for my liking.
I
I
think
wasn't talking about the stonework.
I think he likes it. I think it's just because it's peaceful. It's warm, it's nice, it's not affected by winter like everyone else. But I understand that you probably don't want anything to do with stone after the mountains, so I get it.
That and also, there's not a lot of things going on right now. Everyone is so quiet. They're like, oh, please, be peaceful. There's no fun happening anywhere. You don't have to worry about wolves. There's nothing to hunt. I could barely hear birds chirp in the morning.
So you're more used.
I think I'm changing my mind. I like what Shrub is talking
about. You guys continue down on the path and meet up with Nuntius, who greets you all with a smile. Although he's a little, after this display of you guys at the house, he's a little nervous about you meeting the council. But he smiles, nods to all three of you, gives Shrub behind the ear scritches really quickly, and then leads you all into the Golden Sanctum. There are, unlike Aztec temples where you have to completely go up the entire set of stairs to get to the entrance at the top, it's got multiple levels, but you do have to go outside and have go along the outer pathways to go inside and stuff like that. So he leads you up and to the second past the second flight of stairs inside. And now that you're actually on the temple itself, you can see that it's very smooth, both from the hand of the gods working on this thing, but also from just natural rain and things like that. So it's polished from how smooth it is. And at first I think you're a little worried on if you're gonna get any traction on your shoes or if you're just gonna be sliding everywhere. Luckily there's enough grip for you guys to not be ice skating all over the place.
I keep hearing the dudes.
There's also
roll 20. And no one's sending messages on roll 20, which is weird.
You're going crazy.
You're going nuts. But either way, you also notice that there's also these beautiful carvings. Chisel, I think you can deduct that the person who made the carvings on it's okay, these lines aren't as jagged, these are perfect curves and beautiful circles and things. Once again, a very evident sort of sign of this was done by the gods, showing depictions of the various gods. Because the Golden Thread, the Order of the Golden Thread, isn't just clerics who worship specific deities, it's oracles. This is just like a general religious site and place for all walks of life to go to. You all enter the space, and it's more in the, it's not dark, but it's definitely like dim light in here, because again, you know, magic light can only do so much before it becomes, you know, complete darkness or and things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think you can, guys, just because of like the thickness of the stone as well. Sorry, I had a word vomit there. You can tell that even if there's like sunlight streaming in through the doors, it's not it's clear that even with that, there has, like, the sun has to be at certain points in the sky for light to stream in well enough for everyone to still like see. So there's a good amount of like magical lighting in here, but it's not like it needs to be on 24/7 or else you guys aren't gonna see shit while walking around. Beautiful columns, and these similar twisted stone sort of torches come and jut out of the wall. More beautiful religious carvings along the wall. You actually see there is a story as you enter this floor along the entire wraparound of the sanctum is a story of the first order of oracles that began the Order of the Golden Thread after the first revision, when humans were put back onto the planet, back into Umaria. You actually see, depending on the way the firelight flickers as well, there is a kind of like looping and wrapping and twisting through, over, behind, under, in front of. There is a small, thin, golden sort of thread carving that goes around the entirety of this canvas and continuously loops back in itself. It doesn't disconnect at any point. It just keeps going and going and going and just creating an infinite loop. But Nuntius, even the floor is actually carved too. There's like a beautiful circle mandala pattern down at the bottom, like in the very center of the floor. And you can see that pattern is made from various stones. It's not made just from the single sort of granite that you're standing on, but there's like a white stone, there's like a black stone in there, and then there's like a lighter gray and stuff. So it's very much like there's a lot of beautiful artwork in this sanctum that kind of makes it what it is. But you all continue following Nuntius, who says the Golden Sanctum actually was one of the few things, as he speaks, taking you guys further in. It was one of the first things that the gods made during the first revision and kept, but simply replaced its positioning within Umaria's lands once it was made. The carvings have lasted for thousands, like hundreds of thousands of years. The stone is obviously pristine.
Where was it during the first revision?
There is a belief, due to the sandstone that we had found in deeper layers in the catacombs, where the past oracles go when they move on from this realm into the afterlife, that it was in some sort of desert or sea of sand. There are some people who actually speculate that it might have been in the ocean before it was put on land, though, due to a variety of different factors, such as finding shells and things within the stonework further underground and things like that. So.
That was more described about the concept of a sea of sand, like, sea of sand. What kind of critters move around in that? Sandfish?
I don't actually think it's a sea. I think it's just a way that people describe something like that.
Hey, so a near endless plain, like the fields further south here, but just sand.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Sounds like a sea to me.
Sounds boring.
I mean, I wouldn't know.
Hey, but if it's just sand,
None of us would.
None of us. Shrub's like,
there's no-
I don't think any of us have any sort of way of wrapping our minds around the concept of an endless field of snow, of like sand.
I'm thinking like a beach, like near the coast. Nothing grows there except the critters from the sea walking out like crabs or something. Maybe some tall grass here and there. It's
Sand
like-
is like coarse too. It's not pleasant. I don't like the
Yeah,
feeling
it's
of it.
rough, it's irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Everywhere.
I've never
Have you
been
spent
to
the-
the beach before.
Oh, when you take you to the beach, Chisel, it's grand. Except, the aftermath.
The wash up is terrible.
Aye.
We spent 5 hours getting sand out of Shrub's fur.
Oh, yeah, that...
I think what makes it worse is that there was a point where I think you needed to defend yourself, Redwood. It was Shrub, and she needed to light, and so some of that
It
sand,
was being smothered.
actually became,
Shrapnel.
it became shrapnel, but also glass.
The worst
We don't
kind
know-
of shrapnel.
But
We
I
don't know what it became because glass doesn't exist yet.
Glass isn't a commodity yet, but it
you
became
don't-
like this real, like a clear crystal thing that you could look through, and it was pretty, but it sucked getting out of fur because it got stuck.
You have to shave shrub to get them. Oh,
I imagine Redwood explain, like, oh, that's the glass thing happened or whatever. And Devin's like, wait, if you set sand on fire, it turns to crystal.
I mean, it was annoying to
it
clean
turns to
up.
shards.
Hey, but crystal nonetheless.
This is how Thevin creates glass windows. This is how it happens.
Devin has experimented
no.
with a lot of shit, so...
technically, he's already created glasses.
that he did
Technically,
create
the
glasses
frames.
without the
I create the
glass.
frames.
So
Hang on, wait.
the next progression
Are
step
you making a
is-
notebook?
is fitting glass into the frames.
I mean, yeah, when he drank that intellect mutagen, it's like he made a spell book, he made glasses.
You made a wand of fireballs. No, you made the Valhalla horn.
Yeah.
It is-
Oh, it's...
Devin creates the first glasses.
but you
We're
guys
just doing world building
Wait.
for
That-
you.
that actually makes
That's
sense
the
because the
point.
frames that Seven did, we got Redwood making glass, and then Chisel had eye problems. The elements are all there.
anyways, back on
Glasses don't cure blindness, but you know what? Go off.
But also magic.
moving on. You continue further into the temple, and you realize that, again, made by gods, funky magic shit. So it's not like, even though the Sanctum itself is massive, but for any of those who have seen Doctor Who and know of the TARDIS, inside's bigger than the outside. So you enter, and there's like that main room sort of center spot that you enter, and then there are extra like hallways that don't look like they should be there but are there. And Nuntius, he's like moving through this place without any issue. Like there's even stairs that can kind of lead down to a half level. There's a
We're underground.
Oh, no, we're still on the second level.
Huh?
Hey, lad, this place has been around since the first world, and it's filled with people who worship gods. At this point, par for the course.
That's not right, but okay.
This doesn't feel right.
There
Don't
isn't
Oh, I agree with you. It's weird, but
there
if
isn't
it was
definitive
god,
proof of this, but we believe that the first god to sort of the way that they did this was they created the inside first and then kind of created the outside like a covering. We aren't entirely sure which god in specific made this one. But there
So you're
is
saying- So you're saying a god decided to make an entire, let's say, community worth of room and then shoved it into a tiny bag.
pretty much.
I mean, when you think about it, Chisel, you have so much muscle in such a tiny frame. I think it's the same concept.
My muscle's more lean than bulk.
I have seen you push things around you shouldn't be able to push. I have seen you take hits that no one of your size should take. There's more muscle than you think in that frame of yours.
There is a belief that the gods that helped create the Golden Sanctum were Lolan and Unir. And so, due to their affinity and their sort of what they stand for and their domains themselves, it's possible that they specifically wanted this built in a way that was accommodating for all walks of life. Anyone who would like to, roll me a religion check for those god names.
Da-da-da-da. Boop. Oh,
Wow. Oh no. Okay. Okay.
I barely know my own god.
You I think Redwood, you're like getting like you're sitting here and you're just like, cool, God's made this. I got my own shit with my own goddess to deal with. This is cool. Neat, I guess. Why am I here? Going to dinner.
Just, why am I here? Going to dinner. Oh, right, that's what we were doing.
I think he's more focusing on the fact that this can be done with magic.
Mhm.
And it's like, well, if I guess following condensation principles, mild dimensional progress. I mean, I think he's not listening to the part of the religion. He's just listening to the part of like, wait, this can be done. How
I
can do
think
this?
Shrub boops your like your knee with her nose and goes, "You're doing it again." Truly a brother and sister duo of the fox and her master. Lolan,
We're doing it again. Just,
Lolan, you know what? This is a natural 20. Fuck it. I'm gonna give you everything.
okay.
Lolan has a title known as the Ornate Oracle. It is believed that Lolan was actually the one who instilled the idea of someone needing to be able to communicate with the gods in order to enact sort of their will before the idea of champions came about. So oracles were created like this. Lolan is like the patron god of oracles, and helps kind of teach and guide oracles through their scripture. They don't have any set gender. They have kind of like that Egyptian counterpart of both male and female, depending on how they're feeling on what day. The only thing that kind of makes them noticeable is the simplicity of their supposed attire that they are often depicted with, which is these long flowing robes that have like this really long train at the back and a golden laurel circlet that they wear kind of rested on their head. But they are the god of prophecy, joy, celebrations, and in the future, metalworking. But that one doesn't matter to you because you don't know what metalworking is. So
Technically, we do because of the Fae, because we've encountered them with their metal weapons.
Right. So,
and the shaft of my warhammer is better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Unir is known as the Welcoming Hand, a gender-neutral god of the home, harvest, and water. They are more often depicted as a sort of large ram, basically like a Roth from like the Underdark, really large, bulky, massive curling horns that overtake their head. that have like been decorated and covered in like wheat and flowers and things of harvest. So typically in like tales from the first, like the beginning of Umaria, that is how these two gods are depicted. But it makes sense, I think, in your mind because this place is massive and it can clearly hold a bunch of fucking people in it. Not only that, but it's very clearly made to be an area of peace and welcome and acceptance for all kinds of people. So it very much fits these two gods' MO for who they are.
So playing this off as a side effect from the intellect mutagen, Devin recites all of this knowledge to the rest as if it's just common knowledge. And then just kind of goes silent, like, hey, yep.
It's just slowly drifts.
Hizzle,
So I have this spell that's very close to condensed material.
Rob just kind of grabs you by your pant leg and keeps dragging you down the hallway.
No,
Or-
but I need.
I'm curious, what's Nuntia's reaction?
I think
Oh,
Nuntius is shocked that you're able to recite this because the last time that you had talked with him in a setting that isn't like
Combat.
before you became a blood hunter was you were very much rough and tumble, and it's very clear in Nuntius's mind that you are low intelligent hunter.
mm-hmm.
So seeing you like just suddenly prattle this off as if it's like common knowledge to everyone in the world, it's just like
I imagine his dialect also becomes more refined, less hillbilly bumpkin, but more scholarly. And then it's like a switch goes back to, yep. What happened?
go back
Over here.
back to that. I liked that more. What happened?
Hey, what?
You like there was like a switch flip in your brain. You know what? We will talk about that later.
Oh, yeah, probably a side effect of that mind potion I made.
Mind potion?
I drank it. I felt smarter than Redwood.
I think you actually like. I think you look at Nuntius and it looks like that he just got slapped in the fucking face. Like he's so confused, but he just kind of doesn't know what to say in response to it, so he just keeps walking, leading the way
Like-
further down the hall.
And I feel like
Yeah.
shortly after, like we get there, and like them, like, oh hey, what here?
Yeah, the hall is clear. This place is clearly like a feast hall, but you can tell that it is not just. It is one of many. Beautiful like stone sconces along the walls. This is clearly decorated for a place of commune and for gathering. Large stone table, long stone benches, made into the ground, similar to how the Havards did it. But there's a wooden top that has beautiful, like, kind of religious carvings on it, and like other depictions and things. Basically, like almost everything in this place has been decorated with religious iconography of some sort, in some way, shape, or form. The lights in here are brighter, and I think whoever would like to can roll me an Arcana check, if they would like.
Watch me get that 20, beating Redwood. Nope.
No,
It'd be hilarious though.
Redwood with his nat 1.
He's too distracted. He's thinking about how this all works.
The
Just-
guy who just got magic got
Just-
a 20.
Chisel, I think it's for you, it's very similar to the way that your family does lighting at home, which is like, you can kind of like put 2 and 2 together and kind of deduce the two and their similarities and differences. You think that the reason that the lights are brighter here is because the person who casted these lights are somewhere within the vicinity. So it's kind of like the closer the caster is, the more potent the magic becomes.
But I happen to roll a perception to try and guess who
There's no one else in the room besides you three
Oh,
and Nuntius.
I thought there were more people in the room.
They're not here yet. You guys are the first to arrive. But Nuntius kind of directs you three to sit on one or other side of the sort of table. There is a singular, more ornate wooden chair that has been beautifully carved, kind of similar to what I can basically describe as like a Viking sort of chief master's chair of like tall back, beautiful carvings on the handles and things like that. And Nuntius kind of, once you guys all sit down, and goes, I will be getting the council and those who will be joining us for dinner. If you could all please wait here. Don't touch anything as he leaves the room.
I find as Thevin kicks his feet up onto the table, crossing his legs, pulling out a piece of sugar bread, and starts nibbling at it.
I don't think we should be putting our feet on the very important furniture of the very important religious sanctum. Never mind.
Chisel's just gonna softly start carving wounds into his warhammer.
For a second, I thought I got into the table like a high school thing.
No. He's copying the design of the table. He's copying the design of the table into his warhammer.
Are you putting it in the stone head, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay. Roll me...
Yes, because I don't have the tools to do it into the metal head.
Right. So go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand to see how well you can do this.
No. Could I do, since I have proficiency with Smith's tools, could I do it with Smith's tools?
Its tools are different than Stonecarver's tools, unfortunately, so I'll have to say no.
Why does Rune Knight give me proficiency in Smith tools and not Rune Carver tools? That doesn't make sense.
Rug?
So, sleight of hand?
Yes. Okay, you actually start making some pretty good headway on carving. I don't think you're able to carve the full depiction of what's happening on the table within the amount of time that Nuntius takes to go and collect the council. But you do...
I'm not trying to copy the image, I'm mostly copying the style.
Okay, so you're copying the style. I do think that there is something that as you're carving the table, trying to get a feel for the style and trying to replicate it onto your warhammer, there is something rather interesting about this table. You see that it has sort of a depiction of the pantheon on it in a way where, like, there's gods facing either side of the table. There's a total of 14 gods in total within the Umaria pantheon. But on this table, you see a total of 15. I think you're the only one who notices, because you're the only one trying to pay attention enough to spot it. But before you can bring this up or say anything, Nuntius enters the room with a decent-sized council behind him. You could see that it's a mixture of masters, so they have, like, the blindfold with the golden thread through it on their eyes, and then their apprentices, if they have any, so other people like Nuntius who aren't wearing a blindfold. Various status places of attire on their garments and things like that. It's been a few months since the head oracle had passed Tanya. You now see a new head oracle having taken her place, clearly within the past few months. Similarly ornate robes to what Tanya was wearing. A decent blindfold that covers not only her main eyes, but her forehead. Tall, slender build. Dark-skinned black woman, dreads on her hair tied back, held together by a loose cloth. Carries herself with an air of practiced authority and with a regality from being an elf. and she sits down at the head chair. And the other council kind of takes their seats. And there is another figure that you recognize who also steps in. Venkashale comes into the room following the council and sits down on your guys' side of the table with you all. And he sees you and he goes, "Oh, gods, I didn't... You're alive!
Hey, nice to see you. Long time no see.
It's good to see you three. I didn't... Wow.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes.
You're missing an arm.
And you look different from how you
Yes.
sound.
I don't remember the voice I gave for Venkashale. It's been a hot minute.
That's
No,
that's
no.
almost a year.
No.
I'm saying
he can see.
He looks different from how he sounds.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Venkashale, actually I think there's also some differences in terms of his appearance as well. He looks a little bit more weathered. His hair is longer. You can actually see I think you guys also see signs of stress. He's got a bit of like dark circles under his eyes, and he's got some streaks of gray in his hair. Despite being an elf. So it's clear that everything that he's been going through, much like you guys, has been incredibly stressful.
It looks like you have a foot in your grave as I hand him a piece of sugar bread.
He kindly takes it from you and does like a little cheers sort of thing, knowing that this from you is kind of like a sign of camaraderie, because you don't share your sugar bread with just fucking anybody.
Hey.
Too sweet.
I tried sharing with you, Chisel, but you smacked it out of my hand.
I did not.
But
Venkashale,
it felt like it. It felt like someone taking a stone shard and jabbing it right in my heart. That's what you did to me, Chisel.
Let's focus on the elders, guys.
Aye? Oh,
The-
yeah, the big wigs.
the council is actually a decent mix of races. The head oracle herself is an elf. There is a couple of humans in here. Venkashale is another elf. You actually see a dwarf as well, a dwarven man, big beard, dangling stoned beads in his beard. You see a halfling as well. You see a gnome. And there's even another race that you guys haven't seen before. That is a Triton.
Hmm.
You see...
We have seen it.
When have you seen a Triton?
When?
What's her face? With the wooden dog. Isn't she a Triton?
No, she is
No.
not a Triton.
She was a fey creature.
She is a...
But also, sorry, but the minute you said dwarf, I see Brian just look up, heavy shadows over his eyes, like a death stare.
Right, because Chisel is racist.
Yeah, we debunked that. Thank you. I was
Did
not
we?
allowed.
I'm not allowed to be racist. The
um,
court has
actually-
ordered me to not.
If anything, it should be the elves in the party.
well, so far the two of you guys have just been chill with any fucking buddy you meet, so...
Mm-hmm.
But the...
Whatever
Hasn't been
happens
yet.
hasn't happened yet.
So you see that kind of like sitting next to them or like across from them, this is a long fucking table. So there's plenty of space for everyone that had entered to sit. There's a total of 10 council members and 5 apprentices, plus you 3, Venkashale, Nuntius, and Shrub, who is sitting underneath Redwood's feet. And then there is the head oracle. She sits down and waits for everyone to sit themselves before standing, and goes, "It is a pleasure to meet all of you. I am Aomide. I am the head oracle for the Order of the Golden Thread. I am pleased to see that you are all doing well, to various degrees, but clearly alive."
Still leaning back with the feet on the table, lifts up the sugar bread like a pint. Like,
Nuntius Nuntius is on your other side. It's like, so it's you, Thevin, Redwood, Chisel, Venkashale. And Nuntius just kindly taps your arm and kindly, like, as a silent thing of like, please get your feet off the table.
Aye, fine.
Thank you.
Before we start anything, what's the 15th god?
15th?
Yeah, on the table.
She tilts her head at
And-
you.
Chisel physically gets up and just taps where the god is. Where goddess is. There's
So-
15.
So the individual themselves that you gesture to doesn't have any specified gender within their carving. In fact, they don't even really have a face or any sort of iconography, thank you, of who they are or what their domain may be. And when you ask that, you can see that there are a couple... Roll me an insight check. Just like anyone who wants to, roll me a general insight check here.
I'm good with insight. Not that good. Casey, you need to stop rolling
What
so
is with
low
you
today.
today.
Redwood is seeing a lot of new magical items, and I think he has put up a detect magic and is just straight up studying shit.
Just looking everywhere.
You
He's
see-
distracted.
So, Redwood, you see that there's, like, obviously a good bit of clerical magic within here. There's a good bit of, like... You see, like, obviously, like, magic specifically originating from the oracles in this place. You actually see... Roll me a perception check.
With my rolls?
Yes.
That's
Okay,
not
that's,
bad.
that's better. That's much better.
You actually... It's not necessarily a flashbang, but it's not pleasant at first when you first get hit with it. It's kind of like... It's kind of like squinting your eyes, knowing that when you turn on your phone screen, it's gonna be bright and you're sitting in the dark. So you're kind of prepared
Like-
for it.
3 a.m. in the morning, just...
Yeah, so you're kind of prepared for it, but it's still like, you see that some of the carvings on the walls, like, there are depictions of like creatures of like myths of divine origin and things like that, and you see that occasionally, like, one will glow and then fade away, or another on an opposite wall will glow and then fade away. But I don't think you really truly know why that is. I think it's just something that you can pick up on.
Doesn't know the type of stuff.
You know for a fact that it is divination magic. I think that's kind of
If Redwood sees
self-explanatory.
symbols, Redwood is like going to like try and, well, he doesn't have paper. We decided books are stupid. He's going to mark them on himself.
With like
You-
charcoal just on your regular arm, just
I
marking.
will have
Yeah.
to ask, do you have a sort of writing utensil on you at this point? Or did you leave your main set of
I
equipment
would do
at
it with
home?
a dagger.
I mean, if you want to roll
no,
it,
no.
you could ask Seven.
Or chisel. Like,
If you have like charcoal or ash or
Oh,
something.
so you want some charcoal? Seven digs in his pocket, puts down the spell book, puts down the piece of charcoal. Hey,
I'll take the charcoal and I push the spellbook away.
I want to note the cleric's reaction to seeing a spell book that shouldn't exist yet.
Get to that in a minute. We need to sort the original insight checks first.
mm-hmm.
Chisel, you kind of glance at everybody. You don't really notice anything off in the room. The air is kind of charged, mainly already because of the fact that this is clearly a dinner of importance. You're meeting important religious figures all in a single room. 7.
Mhm.
There's something about the way that Ayomide tenses just imperceptibly. There's a twinge in the corner of her jaw, and the way that her shoulders seem to stiffen just a little bit more at the mention of this. She goes, "That's been here for generations. We could not tell you."
Hey, but you seem to know something about it.
That, unfortunately, is not something of my expertise.
Hey, but You don't have to be an expert in something to know something. I mean, what is it? It's the god of the blight.
No.
Eli
Venkush.
internally panics.
God of death?
No, God of Death is completely different and is actually properly worshipped here.
Mhm.
Undeath? Because there's another god for that, apparently.
Venkushale kind of goes, I believe there's a reason as to why we are all here. That we should focus on that seems to be a little bit more important than
Aye.
carvings on a table.
Well, the blight.
Yes. That is
Redwood, the whole reason we're on this quest, world ending.
Shrub just kind of gives your ankle a little nip, just kind of puts you back into attention.
You know,
Yeah,
your body has very limited space.
I need to use it.
Aye, but you're just gonna walk around with markings all over your body. I mean, what if, you get to a place where you can't really see without the assistance of someone else?
The halfling woman clears her throat. Can we please focus?
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm listening.
We have brought you three here, both as a welcoming ceremony and also because we want to discuss your findings from the past few months. We are sorry that you were there during the attack on our head oracle Tanya. May she rest well and in peace.
I've been thinking back, trying to remember the main lady being like, "Oh yeah, I put a fire arrow through her head."
Yeah, you were the one that kind of
Resting
ended
in
her.
pieces. She's resting in pieces currently.
If I've been thinking back to the headshot, it's like, yeah, I'm sure she is.
Anyways, Venkashale goes, I believe a conversation with food in front of us might actually prove to be a little bit more fruitful. And he claps his hands and casts feast on the table, and a bunch of food just kind of appears on the wooden carving. Plenty of meats, fruits, vegetables, bread. There's wine, mead, things of that sort of nature, all placed out. You can smell it, and I think the first thing that you guys can smell is the fact that even though it was a cast spell, Venkashale made sure to put his own personal home cooking flair into this meal, something that you recognize from when you guys first ate with him many, many months ago.
He
That
cast
is-
a level 6 hero's feast.
Mm-hmm. Seven kind of slams down the table and is like, "Redwood, you gotta learn this spell. Learn that magic now."
Redwood, you just shrink in on yourself.
I thought you
This is-
didn't want me riding on my arm.
I can
There's exceptions to every rule. I said limited space, so that means don't like everything. This is something you need to write down.
I think Venkashale just kind of looks to you, Redwood, and goes, I can teach it to you later.
Probably.
If you
Seven
would,
grabs
if
a
you would
piece
like.
of meat, tastes it. Is it good?
It is
Do excuse.
compared to the dried jerky of the various animals that you've killed from the past few months
And good berry.
and Goodberry, this is
I thought you liked my good berry.
I told you before, it was too dry, too spicy. I didn't like the flavor. This is immaculate.
the way meat should properly be cooked. This is the way it is falling off the bone. It is juicy. It is plenty of seasoning.
I mean, I
I
just
liked it.
look at this. He's holding a piece of meat by the bone. He flicks it, and it slides right off onto his plate. That is what a good cut is like.
Venkashale nods to you and thanks and goes, I'm glad that you enjoy my cooking so much.
Redwood, I liked the good berry.
But don't get me wrong. It's useful. Aye, it's useful to have a full meal in a single bite. But this,
I would like you to change your status for 7 on your character sheet, Redwood, from friend to acquaintance, please.
I was there from the beginning.
Where am I on that list, Casey?
Oh, you're a friend.
Yay!
Wait, hold on. Oh my god, seriously, I looked at my allies and organizations and Thevin is not on there. Chisel is.
I think that's probably because he hasn't reached that level with you yet. So far, all Thevin has done is insult you.
I've complimented Redwood.
I specifically have Shrub the Fox and Redwood. I don't even have Thevin, I have Thava.
I am Thava too!
Love this campaign.
Oran, Havard family, Venkashale, Arisa Blackthorn, Nuntius, Imeum, Flexeth, Thava, Bella, Ithis, Chisel.
No, Thevin.
I have Frostbringer instead of Ithis.
I think
You're
Frost.
right, I need to add Shrub.
I would think Frostbringer wouldn't I would make sure you put a sort of parentheses of patron on there because like
That's
he's
what
not
he is.
okay because that's not what he's.
I
We
have
ain't that
patron.
close, bro.
I have patron / acquaintance. Nothing else.
Anyhow, you.
And
I think Thevin, you are so wrapped in this meal. Venkashala kind of looks to you, Redwood, sympathetically, like I have the good berry spell too. I have not a lot of people like it. It's just something that happens, and yes, there are the rare few that do.
Spicy food.
What's the flavor of your
Hot.
hot? Like is it like a sweet hot or is
not,
it like
not warm? Not like
No,
warm
it's-
hot, but like you feel it all over your tongue, hot.
cinnamon?
it's
Like
No.
pepper. Yes, it's cinnamon sharp.
I
I would say it's more cinnamon and like jalapeno.
I mean,
It's-
you can just say peppers.
it's kind of like one of those. It's like a red hot candy. Is basically like the
It's like
flavor. of it.
airheads.
Um,
Warheads, not airheads.
is basically like what it's essentially. It's a cinnamon candy flavor is what it is. Venkashala goes, mine is more of like a raspberry sort of flavor. People don't like
like
it
it
as much. Mine is apparently a little too sweet according to people, so they don't like eating it as much. But it's very useful. It's a very useful spell.
It's a very useful spell, and you should be grateful. Fuck you.
I never said it wasn't useful.
Nuntius is like, why am I sitting next to him?
He's like, please bring back Smart Thevin.
Please. I think
Vegetarian options.
there are a few like there's plenty of fruits and vegetables. There's beans and things like that. Plenty of things that you can get protein from without needing to eat the meat that's there. You are not the only person who doesn't eat meat at the table. You actually see that the one of the elves is doing it. The Triton is actually eating fish. Not just like they're not eating anything.
Fish are friends, not food.
There's plenty of fish that eat other fish.
The Triton themselves is eating fish. They're not eating any of the meat there. So there's plenty of options for you to eat, Chisel. It's not like I think Venkashala remembered your preferences for eating from the first time that you guys all interacted and was like, I can make you something specific, and kind of has like some
It's
stuff.
just gonna slowly start make a fruit and regular salad and just combines them.
Yeah, I think noticing you kind of making your own food, he does summon a specific dish to sit in front of you for you to eat. Out of the kindness of his heart, because he doesn't like he feels bad because he's like, okay, but there's like a pescatarian here, so there's like some of the things that he can eat here, and then so he sets up food for you and things like that. Ayomide, like everyone kind of starts getting into eating and things like that. The dwarf is very much eating a incredibly hearty portion of meat. You can see that
Rivaled by Thevin.
yeah, so like you two, I think kind of he's like obviously he's like a high status oracle, but he like locks eyes quote unquote with you through his blindfold, and it's just like a competition to
Challengingly.
see who
I
eats more
accept the
meat.
challenge.
So you guys They're just kind of like silently like rivaling against each other, eating as much meat as possible without making yourselves sick.
Redwood, why are we acquaintances with them?
He's useful.
Oh my
Just-
god.
Just chiseled, slowly nodding before reaching for, let's say, a chicken wing, grabbing it and slowly sliding it under the table for Shrub.
Grub does not hesitate. That thing, the moment it goes underneath the bench, it is gone.
Flashed in the rada.
But you, Chisel, make a point to occasionally feed Shrub so that way she doesn't feel left out as she's like under the table.
She's my best friend. I have to care. She's my chaos gremlin.
Once everyone is kind of like eating and enjoying themselves and a little bit more relaxed, getting food in their plate on their plates and in their stomachs, Ayomide finally sits up a little bit and goes, have the three of you discovered anything within recent months that could help shed some light on the situation with the blight?
I got it.
Hmm.
Blight infections are not accidental.
What do
They're
you
being
mean?
done by something.
One.
Or something.
What do you mean by being done by something?
A compatriot of ours was infected by a rather serious case of blight.
Mm.
And they had a large scar on their side, not of natural causes. Interesting music.
I did not mean to choose that one. Hold
Yeah.
on. Keep going.
I thought I turned off that music. How did I hear it? Did I hear it through you, Casey?
I don't know. I've got headphones on.
Mhm.
And later, when we were able to talk to them, they weren't able to describe what exactly occurred. But the injury was similar to something Thevin had seen in their own past.
Hey, this one, as he lifts the shirt up.
You lift your
Not
shirt.
at the table.
You lift.
Huh?
You lift your shirt, and Nuntius kind of takes a look at it. Ayomide's head turns in the general direction of you, and you can kind of have a feeling, even though that she can't see, she sees. You know what I mean? Kind of like she can sort of get a vibe for the area and stuff.
Is that how it looked when I was doing that?
She looks at the scarring and goes, and you say that it was exactly like this.
At least
Hey.
very similar.
Aye, some bastard when I was younger did this to me.
I see. Do you remember what the material of the weapon was, or what it was that had been sliced you in specific?
May I do a history check?
Roll me a history check with disadvantage.
Okay. 11.
You do not.
It was dark, middle of winter, so no.
She nods. and
Could
goes,
I try to make a medical check to see what sort of weapon could have caused it?
You can, but this will be disadvantage. You would be able to know more if it was a fresh injury, but since this is a scar, you can't get too much, but I'll let you.
Let's go gambling. 5.
You have no idea.
Dang it.
Venkashale
This looks like a weird blob.
Venkashale speaks up and goes, I've actually seen quite a few injuries like that on my travels as well.
You're afraid to take a look at it. Whatever will help.
He gets up from his seat, goes to you. You like kind of twist yourself to give him a better view of it, so that way Nuntius and your body aren't blocking his view, and he goes, yes, it matches the scarring and the like that others had encountered. I've only seen it fresh on someone once within these past few months. that person currently, the dwarf that was eating stops for a moment and goes, being held in the catacombs.
Catacombs here.
Yeah.
Is it changing?
No, it's dead.
Ah, pity.
Venkushale
Wait,
sighs and goes, I wasn't able
Don't-
to treat it in time.
aren't only clergymen and oracles buried in the catacombs?
This, the Triton speaks up. Gender neutral, very ambiguous. Swimmer's build, obviously. Light blue skin that gives you the idea that maybe this person used to live in like a warmer oceanic climate. Can't see their eyes. You see there's a couple of piercings within the fin-like ears. The hair is in this ponytail that's been pulled back and tied tight. They kind of lean forward, resting their elbows on the table and going, the individual in question had been infected nearby, and Venkashali felt it imperative to bring to us for us to try and start inspecting for any potential cures or methods that we have missed within the past few months. The catacombs is the safest place to keep it, as it will not, should anything happen, cause destruction that we cannot keep contained.
We have, in our travel, only seen the infection cured twice. Once through a very rare clerical flower, and once through death.
And to be specific, we don't mean just actually kill. Oh, this one brought him back to life. As I dressed as Redwood.
Vengashali's head snaps to you, along with every other oracle's head in the room, including the apprentices.
Chisel
Sucking
just
up a piece of meat
I
like
feel it should be mentioned. This was no deal with undeath. This was no zombification or darker magic. Purely a stranger form of healing. He returned well, intact, and fully mentally stable.
You see the...
I am experimenting with magic in ways that are underneath my god's wisdom.
You see that the two of the oracles kind of look at each other, sharing some sort of silent communication that you can't quite pinpoint. Specifically, the gnome man and one of the elves that he is sitting next to. Long black hair that falls over the shoulders for the elf. And you can actually kind of see that along, like kind of at the corner bone of the eye on their left side, down their cheek, stopping just at like the corner of their mouth, is a scar that's very much a clean cut, probably from some sort of attack of some kind from when they were younger. And the halfling, shaved head, bald, important, or not halfling, sorry, gnome. Shaved head, bald, religious sort of painting done on the head, with like various swirls and things like that on their body. And it's clear that it doesn't just go onto the sort of like the outline of where the hair would be, but also down the neck and kind of like along the sort of tendons of the neck that you can like kind of see if you were like to turn your head or something like that. It kind of follows that path line. They share a look with one another before everyone whose attention was on you. This gnome individual looks to you and goes, "You've been following the wisdom of a god in order to tap into magic yet untapped into."
Experimentation of my own under tutelage and exploration. Nothing extreme, but
And-
definitely a path yet to be wandered.
Hey,
And-
a lot of fucking about and finding out.
And you're telling us that you, someone who does not participate in clerical practices, has the ability to use a spell that can revive an individual. I need
have
you.
Power granted to me by the goddess Ithis, and I'm going to unveil my arm.
You summon your arm, unveiling it. Then Kashale had moved back to his chair, but his eyes widen once he sees the flame light up and the magma. You see there is a sort of collective murmur among mainly the apprentices, but the oracles of the council themselves seem a little bit more cool and level-headed about it. Iomide leans forward slightly and goes, I do not wish to insult your patron goddess. She's clearly led you down a path of wisdom and of good. But I must warn you. It is not uncommon to hear tales of Ithis doing things for her own selfish gains, either. I know you will probably have something to say in counter, and I understand. However, take it from somebody who has delved with the divine more than anyone else here in this room. Be careful.
And as you have said, I do have but a thing to say. My companions can vouch. I'm more careful and more prepared than any man should ever need to be.
Hey,
I know the trickiness of higher beings, and I know how dangerous magic can be. I wield it well, but it is important to see.
I just learned magic.
hey, we all have our different flavors of doing the arcane stuff.
The dwarven man leans forward again and goes, I can see the divine on the two of you, as he points to you, Chisel, and you, Redwood. You, on the other hand, and he points to you, Theban.
Hey,
You have a trace of magic I have not yet seen before. And then,
thank you.
and then Kashali kind of perks up and goes, that is fey in nature. And the council member stiffens at that. It's very clear that he, if not just himself, but there's probably a few other council members who kind of have their own personal opinions on the meddling of the Fae.
Oh, I thought you were talking about this as nick of blood, put a trace on an arrow, light it on fire.
Yeah, we're trying not to look like dark mages. Don't do hemomancy.
Too late. The immediately, two of the apprentices, one of which casts a spell that creates a sort of, it kind of looks like they're pulling back on a bow themselves as a golden arrow of pure holy light appears, pointing it at you, and another like prepares to cast some sort of like holy light beam onto you as you kind of look up and you see there's like a bright spot above you.
Hey, you all
Yeah,
need to.
Redwood is going to start lighting
No, no,
up the runes on his arms.
No. That's not what I was gonna say. You've seen the magic. Can you copy it?
This
I
is
will-
not the moment.
This is not the moment.
So, as they prepare these spells, Devin kind of looks on like, hey, you guys need to teach your expenses to chill out as I stab the arrow into one of the meats, using it like a fork and.
Nuntius kind of looks to the apprentices, lifts a hand, And it's very clear that Nuntius got heavily promoted from simple novice apprentice to something else, because the moment he lifts his hand, the apprentices drop their spells and lower kind of flat magic. And Nuntius goes, 7.
Aye.
Maybe leave your blood magic demonstration for another time.
Well, I didn't really know how to describe it, and it's best to show people in my experience. Besides,
7?
it's just lighting a little fire.
7.
Aye, what?
This is not the time for demonstration.
I don't see what the big deal is, but alright.
On
If
another note,
Mm.
I have a medallion that I think belongs to you guys. And
No.
Chisel holds up the old high priestess.
yes, I know what you mean. The high cleric's amulet. The thing. You hold it up, they see it, and they go, that is... Iomide perks up a little bit and goes, if I may see it.
Do I hand it to the person next to me, or do I walk over and give it to him?
That's up to you.
Crawl across the table. Do it.
No, you guys are a mess, no.
But Chisel is going to get up and hand it to her.
For this sign of respect towards the head oracle, please go ahead and write down Iomide as one of your allies.
How do I spell that?
Here, I'll type it in chat.
Thank you.
Iomide. Aomide, yeah.
Dorime.
Dorime.
I thought it was spelled with an I. Iomide.
No. Close, but no. She takes it, nods to you out of respect, looks at it, studies it in her hands. She doesn't... I wouldn't say looks at it, but she's kind of feeling along
Inspecting.
Yes, feeling along the stone. She pauses when her thumb passes over the underside and flips it to fully get a feel. The protective rune that had been scratched away on the amulet is still there. It still has magical properties to it, but it doesn't have that same level of protection that the one that she is currently wearing has, which she actually touches, quickly feels the underside of with her other thumb, relaxes her shoulders a little bit, and then proceeds to tuck her amulet away underneath her robes. It's very clear that someone being able to have access to this amulet and to sabotage it is a big deal. She hands it over to the Triton individual, who takes it from her, pockets it, and it's clear that this person may be some sort of artifact keeper or something of the like, because they are very quick to keep it secure on their person. You all sort of look. There's a moment of silence in this place as Iomide kind of thinks. I want you three, if you would adhere to a request from me and from the council. Would like you to, tomorrow or in the next coming days, investigate the body in the catacombs. Venkashale has been helping us with a variety of separate tasks and hasn't been able to do so himself yet. But it would be of a great help if you all could compare it to what you have found so far, and the like.
Alright, we'll look at the poor bastard.
This has been our mission so far.
Redwood. roll me deception or performance really quickly.
Oh,
Both are +1.
performance.
I will not tell
At
you.
least it's not a nat 1.
I will not tell you for why that is. Just needed the roll. You see one of the two other humans here. Woman, blonde hair. She's got two braids that kind of go over on her sideburns down her face. Kind of looks to you three and goes, I am the personal keeper of the archives for the Sanctum. If at any point you need access to a collection of texts, feel free to let me know. I've been personally looking into these things myself, but I haven't found anything yet.
Perhaps we shall take you up on that.
Only a charisma check. Just general charisma.
Oh no. He has a +1 for charisma.
We gotta
That's
figure
a
out your
nat
passive
1!
sexy.
You say
That's a nat 1.
you say you're pretty, and she just does not acknowledge it. She just keeps on doing her thing. Jared has died from cringe.
Redwood, why does everyone do that?
I can just fall over again and see if my computer crashes.
Redwood, why would you answer me?
Seeing this creepy scratching thumb kind of pats him on the back, hands him a piece of sugar bread. Did you throw it away?
She's just gonna stare at the bread before silently handing it back.
Seven takes it.
He's not gonna say anything about it. He's just gonna hand
Thank you for letting me hold it.
I am glad you gave me so much trust to give me your most prized possession. Do not give it to
Here
me
you
again.
go. Just here you go.
Seeing this blatant disrespect. Alright. Fine. I see how it is. You complain of how I'm always an arsehole, how I'm always mean. And
Well-
I try to help you out here.
roll me a wisdom check really quickly.
Alright.
Oh no. Oh no.
You're able to keep your cool.
Mm-hmm.
You are able to. This is a slight that cannot be handled here right now, but you are angry and you are seething, and this is something to be yelling at him about later.
Red would just see in the corner of his eye. Devin will remember this.
Devin does not approve.
Chisel looking back to the council. Is there any training rooms where we can hone our combative skills?
There are the dwarven oracle shifts forward. There are a variety of rooms on the.
Basically became an orc.
You broke him. There are a variety of separate training rooms, magically equipped to handle any level of magical or physical destruction given. Casey, stop it. I'm gonna turn off your camera.
Can you do that?
I can.
Owns the
Bro,
server.
I just
so I
got
don't
fall
see why
over
not.
again and my camera pauses.
There are a variety of rooms that can handle a variety of magical and physical damage, and there are also grounds outside where some of the clerics, when they visit, go to in order to hone their abilities and the like. So, yes.
It has been a long time since I've just casually spotted someone. Been too much time surviving out in the wilderness.
The last human of the group, uh not female, male, uh short, not short hair, but it's kind of like, again, dark skin, more light skinned than black, cornrows hair, um with beads at like stone beads that have been carved into the ends. Who has been silent kind of like this whole time. Very lanky, tall, not in any sort of athletic way. Leans forward a little bit and goes, I would actually like to, if given the opportunity, Seven, to
Aye.
interact with you personally. I would like to actually know more about your magic that you do, if that is alright.
Hey, alright, fine. Don't expect me to give you all a whole, like, in-depth, complicated speech like Redwood would give you. But yeah, I can tell you what I did.
Would be great. And he leans back and goes back to being quiet again.
Alright, first I gotta bite you.
Nah. Sees the shredded teeth, the more the lycanthrope stuff, and just messes with him. We probably trained him wrong, as a joke.
If anyone would like to, anyone can give me a quick perception or investigation check. If you're doing investigation, do it with disadvantage. Actually, no, not investigation, perception. Do perception with disadvantage.
So investigation or perception,
That's insight.
Wrong one.
right?
Okay.
Perception or investigation.
Yes.
Perceptions with disadvantage.
Perception with disadvantage.
Can I see what I would have rolled with if I rolled perception? Not better. Got it.
Oh yeah, that'd be worse.
Yeah. Redwood, you kind of are looking around in this moment. Things are starting to die down as plans are being made and things like that. Things are being discussed. You do see a figure. There's no, like, doors or skin, like, animal skin coverings on, like, the exits and entryways of this place, of this hall. So you do see someone pass by for a moment. Darker robes, face shadowed due to both the lighting and the hood of their cloak being up. You do see the shine of a singular silver pin, sort of like cloak brooch on their cloak that's kind of like at the shoulder sort of area as they step through. Their steps are quick but quiet, as if they're not trying to draw attention to themselves. Chisel, you're a bit busy feeding shrub under the table, so you don't see any of this. We'll get to your detect magic in a second.
I'm gonna make Shrub plump and fat again.
Oh, God.
No one's told me to stop, so he's just... He is weak to basically puppy dog eyes.
Seven, you're kind of also not really paying attention. It's kind of like the council turns in on itself for a moment to kind of like, with Vanica Chalet, to kind of like discuss things and stuff. And I think you see this as well.
With a 15?
With the 15, you see this person passing by, but you can, even from the darkness, because of the sharpness of your lycanthrope eyes, you do, in your like heightened senses, you do see kind of like, you see the lower half of a face, rounded features. You see a single kind of like painted line of some sort of like metallic silver paint that goes like down the lips, like from the bottom lip down over the chin and then down the jaw and down the neck, that disappears within the cloak and then as the individual keeps walking further down the hall before disappearing from sight completely.
Can I discern intention? Were they just analyzing the crowd, or were they like on a mission to get somewhere?
They don't look into the room. They just simply like walk past. But I think it
It's
catches.
just their clothing is completely different from everything else.
Yeah, you've seen like the oracles are kind of wearing like layers that have kind of like been dyed to certain degrees to kind of show where they sit in terms of status and like what their position is within the council. Ayomide is being more decorative than anyone else is here due to her status in specific. This person is clearly not an oracle themselves, though. They're not wearing any sort of signal, like sort of symbolism or iconography that depicts them as a person of religion or faith in any sort of way here. So you can guess that they're probably one of the few civilians that kind of live in this village, but in terms of intention, you're not entirely sure.
And I assume since we've been in here, this specific era, it's been mostly non-civilians.
It's mostly
People
been
of the cloth.
people of the cloth, yes.
And so seeing this, Devin kind of casually gets up, like, right then, I'm gonna go drain the snake. As he walks out.
I did ping him with detect magic, and that can see through up to 3 feet of wood.
You cast detect magic. You see it for a brief moment. A flash of a magic that you and your companions are only familiar with because you yourself use it. And it's not the druidic part. You see use of the arcane. But you don't see it in intense droves, like a flash beacon. You see lines on this person's body through their, like... You see that same line that was on the person's chin that Thevin had seen from the lighting. Completely magically infused.
It's the lizard.
It's the wizard lizard gizzard. Anyway, Devin is following them. Casually walking out, like I said, to drain the snake, as he would say, but then stealthing to follow the person.
I have that 120 feet of message. I'm gonna ping it at them. Hello, fellow caster.
You get a sense of them acknowledging you, but they don't respond. 7, you follow after this individual. They turn a corner for a moment and disappear into like a darker hallway. Roll me really quickly a dex saving throw.
To be clear, I did say I was stealthing when I was chasing them. So if this was a thing, I haven't even rolled stealth yet.
Yeah, then go ahead and roll me a stealth check, please. Okay, they're gonna roll a perception check.
Is it elves that get an advantage if they're in dim lighting? Or
No,
is it...
that's something
yeah.
else.
Wood elf does. I think they get advantage if they are slightly obscured, or in an area that could be slightly obscured.
I think that's a specific.
You can attempt to hide even when you are only lightly obscured by foliage, heavy rain, falling snow, mist, and other natural phenomena.
Oh, okay.
Would darkness be natural?
I would
Well,
say
that's just attempt to hide.
An attempt to hide. I don't think it applies for sneaking here. You unfortunately, I do still need that dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Fireball.
You move through, and as you round this corner, keeping yourself close to the wall, you suddenly feel like the stone suddenly shifts, and you hear the sound of stone against stone, as when you press yourself against the wall around the corner, your hands are kind of like shackled with stone to keep you from moving in this moment, as you feel a blade get pressed to your throat. And you hear
That's rude.
as you hear a feminine voice speak to you. What the hell are you doing?
Now, this is very rude.
Deal.
I am a guest of the temple. Where are the bathrooms?
Roll
Or
me
where are the pits?
roll me a deception or performance check, please.
What? They're both the same.
Okay, she's gonna roll insight here.
I fail.
She looks to you and goes, "Ha ha, very funny."
Well, I guess if you ask some people, I am a pretty funny guy.
Why are you following me? I won't ask
Who
again.
says? Who says I was following you? It's a big place. Like I said, I'm new here.
She is very much not convinced. She ain't buying what you're selling here.
Eyes twitching, just.
You
Right?
still,
How about this?
you still don't.
How we get to know?
You still don't see your face, by the way. You only like not the full thing. You just see that lower half with that silver stripe down.
Hey, I see. Well, how about this? My name's Steven Winterfall. How about you?
Who wants to? Oh wait, you said your name already.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of looks
Who
like
wants to know?
I was gonna say who wants to know. She like looks to
I
you.
do.
She looks to you. You can you have a feeling just from the way that her head moves that she's got her eyes narrowed at you, kind of trying to discern what your intentions are.
Head no thought, head empty. Good luck.
You don't have brain cells. Does anyone remember?
I know I can't metagame and be like, oh yeah, Thevin's in trouble. But I did not get a message back from that person, and I saw Thevin also go down that direction. So can I ping a little warning to Thevin with a message being like, person's a caster and they're really shifty. Find out what you can.
It's a
Just at
little.
like the really inconvenient time.
I think it's a little too late for that,
I
unfortunately.
mean, what you could do is roll an insight check to see Thevin's intention, because going the same way could be a coincidence. But if you roll an insight for Thevin's intention, they'd be like, "Oh fuck, this guy's gonna do something stupid."
I think it's already too late for that, unfortunately.
Okay.
You have already gone down the hall, you already turned the corner, you're already pinned.
You're already
Message can pass through 3 feet of wood and it doesn't need to follow a straight line.
Well, you're not in wood, you're in stone. You can give me the middle finger all you want. I'm following the rules of the spell.
1 foot of stone.
This is more than a foot of stone, my guy.
Yeah, that was said earlier.
But it doesn't need to go through a straight. It can travel freely around corners and through openings.
You can suck my dick. It's too
You
late.
can let me send an email.
You are too late.
Oh, it's an email? It'll arrive too late.
They all arrive too late.
It's like
I should have texted.
It's more like I get the message, and it, with the dagger already to my throat, and be like, "Hey, Shady."
Oh,
Don't
no.
say.
I'm not saying like I'm sending the message before he got interacted with. Just
You're sending it
Redwood
now.
does not know that the interaction is happening. I sent that now.
You're
It'd be like,
sending it.
hey, there's
Oh,
a shady figure down the hallway.
Okay, so you sent. Okay, I thought you were trying to make it so that you send the message as he's leaving.
No, not in the past.
Okay.
I'm sending this as a now because I know Redwood can't be like, Thevin's in danger. You need help. But Redwood did see them pass and has sent this message at this moment as Thevin has a knife to his neck. It's like, this is a dangerous person and they're a caster. Watch out.
And I can respond to that as I recall, right? To message?
Yeah.
You can respond to message, yes.
25 words or less.
Hey, she has a dagger to my throat.
Okay, that's 9.
Aha.
And that's it. Okay, cool. Wait, sorry, that's 8 words. Still.
Also, that 25 is message. You whisper up. This is you whisper a message. There's no 25 word thing.
Oh, I think no. There's a word limit for.
You're thinking of the spell. You're thinking of the spell sending.
Oh. Okay.
Right.
This is short range, but it's a lot more conversation.
You send this message to Seven. Seven, you get it. And you're just like, yeah, thanks for the heads up. I already know. Fantastic.
I figured it out.
I got that.
And Redwood gets the message. Yeah, she's got a knife to my throat. My friend is in danger. Excuse me.
As everyone hears that, do you actually say my friend is in danger?
Yes.
Okay, so you say that, everyone kind of stiffens. Venkashale stands with you, Redwood. Chisel, do you also stand up or do you stay with the council?
I think Chisel is halfway through a story.
I do think I send I send a thing to Chisel. Stay here. If something happens, I need ears here.
So, do you stay for his request or what?
Hey, I trust Redwood more than Thevin, so I'm going to stay here and tell a story.
Okay. Give me 1 second. This individual, she's standing here in front of you, Seven, and you hear two sets of rushed footsteps and the pitter-pattering of fox claws quickly following behind them as...
And as soon as I hear it, I try to strike up conversation to drown out the noise. So, what's a girl like you doing in a place like this, huh? I mean, the silver, the dips and all that, the rubes. What, do you come to pay a tithe or something?
Seven, as you're conversing with her, she is getting more and more agitated. It's very, I think to her, it's not you trying to cover something up as backup arrives. It's you creating too much noise for what she wants to do. And she's getting pissed because she's trying to do something stealthily, and you've fucked it up in every single way. And
and then I was like, oh, wait, you're being sneaky, right? You're doing sneaky, as I lower my voice, but still loud enough to try and drown out the footsteps. So, what are you doing? Are you trying to just eavesdrop on someone, or are you trying some nice juicy gossip? Is Tally dating Shin? Is that what's going on here?
Give me 1 second.
Give me a performance, because that's just...
I would like a performance, actually, yes, if you would be so kind.
Also, I am preparing a spell.
Okay.
Just as soon as I see... Well, I say as soon as I see Thevin, I'm not shooting Thevin, I'm shooting the other person in the scenario.
Mm-hmm. A distinct clarification. After what we've talked about
I'm preparing a spell to fire as soon as I see Thevin.
You suddenly... this blade that she has on her, this dagger, the silver line on her neck and her chin glows purple. Suddenly. So does the dagger as the blade suddenly becomes longer and glows with arcane weave magic. It kind of looks like a crystal, a slight glowing crystal that has these sort of lines through it, kind of like a thread pattern. And you see the glow kind of lights up her face a little bit. As you see, she's got more of these patterns on her faces that start to glow as well. Various lines and things that kind of help create the sort of magical effect. And you also see that there's some on her hands and her fingers as she stares at you for a moment.
As the blanket flutter, I mentioned it digs a little bit more into my throat, and I'm the founder and forerunner of blood magic, so if you cut me, you're only going to be helping me.
She's not intimidated by you. She is getting more and more frustrated because you don't shut the fuck up. That's 16 performance. Ooh. Okay. She looks to you.
How much farther does my group have to go?
You're about 5 feet away, she is going to... She looks at... She meets it, beats it with a 16 to your 16, unfortunately. So she goes to... Like, she hears you, like, covering it up. It's... Unfortunately, she's, like, keeping an ear out because she doesn't want people to notice what's going on. She's already high-stressed because she's, like, got this weirdo talking about blood magic and shit that she's got pinned to the wall. You actually see on her hip as well is a nicer version of a spell book like the one that you made, Redwood. And the card and like the sort of pattern stitched into the leather is glowing a little bit. Give me one.
And so, do I notice her look to where we came from?
I think I think for the only thing that you really see is her eyes kind of like dart in the direction of the hall. But again, you are kind of pinned in place by your hands.
I know, which is why I'm thinking lift up my legs and wrap them around her, because she's like up to my neck with the dagger. So I can just wrap my legs around her body, like, howdy.
Okay.
using the chained up walls to like, hold me up.
Okay.
Well, hi. You did not think this was going to happen, did you, Eli?
I didn't think that he would do the leg maneuver, no. Can you go ahead and roll
I
me...
am the claw.
Go ahead and roll me strength. She will also be rolling strength for this.
May I do athletics? Because this is a little bit of an athletic move to like use my lower body like this.
I will let you roll athletics.
Be the claw.
It will be a contested athletics check.
Oh.
Doesn't even fucking.
Yeah, that doesn't fucking matter.
Unless she also gets in that one, has a lower strength score.
No.
That would be funny.
No.
Silvery barbs.
I wish you could.
It requires a success. That's just a failure.
No, I would be silvering barbs per success.
1 second.
But I don't have that.
If I can see her, I've got a different spell.
You did say they were within
5 feet away.
Yes, but you're not rounded the corner
5
yet.
feet from line of sight.
Yeah.
Oh. I only heard 5 feet away.
I figured.
Give me 1 second here. Oh, internet, don't be a bitch now.
Not when it's getting spicy.
Not when I need this, please. Hold on, I'll just do this.
It would have been funny though if it worked and Redwood turns the corner to that kind of position of Thevin chained up with his legs around a woman.
Are you sure you're in danger, or are you just...
Oh.
No! Redwood, come back!
It's literally like, what's that image of the girl pinning the guy against the fence with his legs wrapped around her? That's what I'm thinking right now. That meme image. So she looks to you guys. She like hears the rounding on the corner, manages to step away from your legs as you go to like wrap them around her. And she is going to go ahead and cast. Let me just check here really quickly. I'm going to need from. Oh, my internet's being stupid.
Oh no.
We're gonna need here from Shrub, Redwood, and Venikashale. We're going to need. Oh wait, actually, what's your ACs? What's your AC, Redwood?
Shrub is 13. Mine is 16.
And Jared's is 17.
It's a 16.
16.
Hey, well,
Wiggy, wiggy, wiggy.
she's not directing the spell at you, Seven. She's directing the spell at the corner area. She steps away, still keeping this hold up on you, Seven, as she holds you in place. But Redwood and Venkashali, what they both see is this person turn a corner, black clothing kind of billowing in this moment as their cloak, glowing patterns on their face and hands as they shoot out mainly towards the ground with their hand. And you actually see that as they shoot their hand forward, their fingertips frost over as they cast Ray of Frost in this moment.
That's what I was preparing.
She is going to go ahead. You do.
No, it's like they both cast Ray of Frost. It's a
Ray of
DBC.
Frost is not an AoE. Ray of Frost is a target.
Yeah, she's casting it specifically at you, Redwood, in this moment. You
Okay.
take a total of 7 frost damage, and your speed is reduced by 10 feet.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll me in this moment as you're hit with this spell. Go ahead and
Fire off his own attack because he was holding it.
Yeah, he was preparing it.
not in this moment. I think what I'm gonna need from you, Redwood, is roll me a history check.
Oh.
Natural 20.
You think back for a moment. You remember hearing about
The other wizard.
a singular wizard who was studying within Fastial, further south of the Golden Sanctum, studying underneath a Fey teacher, someone from the Feywilds. And you have a strong guess that this is her. She hits you with the spell. You feel your joints kind of tense up and tighten in this moment. Venkashale is going to cast Hold Person on her. I do believe she needs to make a saving throw of some sort.
If
And
he's casting Hold Person, I'm going to cast Plant Growth
On him?
on the area.
Can I ask why you are casting Plant Growth?
Because I can fill the area of 100 feet and becomes thick and overgrown, where the point we have to spend 4 feet of movement for 1 foot.
And if
Oh.
this hold person fails, I would like to see if I can make a strength check to try and break.
That's
Free?
stone. I don't think you'll be able to
Well,
do
it's stone
that.
chains.
It's the way that it is. It's like you have like cuffs on the wall like this. Like your arms are like pressed against the wall, so you're free to try. But these are thick stone.
I don't expect it to be easy, but if it worked,
I'm pretty sure
I will-
she used
I will-
meld stone.
I will say this: you will need a natural 20 to break out the stone.
what if I change form? Because I imagine I grow in size a bit, especially around the wrists when I change form.
You would
You
still
would crush your wrists.
you would
Not
crush.
necessarily.
You would still need to roll a natural 20.
All right.
I'm not saying this to be mean. You are stuck in a stone wall right now.
So does the hold person succeed or not?
Hold on. I forgot to roll that.
Probably not.
She
We'll
didn't.
see.
We didn't roll very high. She is now stuck in place,
Okay.
so she is frozen.
And nothing's going to break concentration on him.
He holds her in place and goes, "Going to take your weapon. I'm going to pull down your hood, and then I'm going to drop this spell. You are going to tell us who you are and why you are here."
Can you break me faith first?
Venkashali. They are a wizard. Remove the book at their hip.
I told you the book was a smart idea.
Ah, but we captured her, didn't we?
You see,
Aye.
you see in this moment, as you say this, there is a look of panic in her eyes at the idea of having her book removed.
And she can't do
We
anything.
will not harm the book. I understand it is very important to a wizard. I am one myself.
You show the runes on your arm, and she is held, so she can't respond, but I think you see there's a look in her eyes that's like, that's not the same. But Venkashali removes the book from her hip, takes her weapon.
Hey, then
And then,
Redwood.
and then
I can't get you released. I don't know that spell.
Just smack her in the face.
No.
Hey.
We are not going to bring harm to her. We are just going to figure out what the hell is going on
I'm
here.
not saying hurt her bad. I'm just saying. As
Can
he
you
jiggles
drop the
his wrist.
spell?
she narrows her eyes. And she kind of just looks at her, like, you see her eyes move around as she looks at this frozen form of hers. She is still under the hold person.
Releasing a spell is not a somatic, it is a mental release. You focus on the back of your mind where you feel the strings move through you, and you simply let it go, as if you stop listening to a conversation. You no longer hear the voices, you no longer see the strings. You just let it go.
I think. Give me 1 second here.
Intelligence save. Or her eyes just slowly drift apart.
You see that.
This is the only other person who could understand me.
You see that she. You look at her, and you see for a moment. There's like a sudden drop, as if something was dropped from her, but she's holding this position for a moment. Before letting go and just going, I know how it works. As she forced herself out of the hold person spell.
Are you going to shoot me again, or are we just going to have a conversation now?
Maybe if your friend wasn't following me down the hallway, I wouldn't have been hostile in the first place. And his obnoxious loudmouth doesn't know how to shut up.
Hey, but that was on purpose.
Kevin.
What?
Okay, I just got a basic message spell. It's a communication spell I worked up. I got a message that you had a knife to his throat, and we responded according to that. If he was a nuisance, I'm sorry.
I didn't even speak to her until
Kevin?
she. I'm not allowed to defend myself.
You
I'll get
feel
Venkashali to put you in the hold person.
you feel suddenly a stone slab cover your mouth to shut you up.
I've got to learn that one.
It's rather easy, that one.
Fantastic.
We can I have
I don't
my
have wizard friends.
Can I have my book back?
Are you going to use it on us?
No. He just needed to shut up. Ben Kashali kind of like looks to you, Redwood, and then is like, do I give it back to her or do I keep it? What do I?
This is the student of Princess Arissa Blackthorn.
I'm not.
The first wizard of the continent. Oh, sorry. I don't know many Fae, and so when she told me you were a student of the Fae, I kind of assumed that she was the one.
Not her, no. But someone of important status. Can I have my book back? Venkashali begrudgingly gives her book back, but he keeps the dagger. Just to be safe. As she takes her book back, she puts it back on like this sort of belt that's attached to her. You can see that her clothing are similar in more what we would normally associate with medieval fantasy style. Being that she was under tutelage of the Fae means that she was probably not here in Umaria to learn as much as you thought she was. So she's been dressed in more, quote-unquote, what would have been...
Regal clothing.
She's dressed
Futuristic.
more
Advance.
out of the time period for you guys. And you actually see that the dagger that she had was a metal dagger. She had a metal dagger on her, and her book is a proper book. It's not just like flattened papyrus and animal skins. It's a proper book with binding and pages, and
horses.
And she tucks it back into this leather metal sort of strap that kind of rests just below, and it like rests just below on her thigh. She goes, "So, you are a wizard? You don't look like one."
I am Redwood of Velica Drovo. And yes, I have been experimenting with my own magic to create spells that have previously been unavailable to me. I have been told this is the path of wizardry.
Interesting. Interesting. That's all I have to say about that. I'm not unmouthing him. I'm not interested.
I'm
in
sure what
feeling
he means to mention is he's also experimented with magic too, but it is not the same thing. You have made a bone that explodes.
It's just I can see now. I can just see Ven Kashale and the wizard freeze, stare at Devin, and then just give up.
I like that Redwood perfectly understood what Devin was going for.
Just
Was that what you were talking?
No.
Aw.
It was more like, hey, please? Can you please? But then you say that and it's like, yeah, you're not wrong.
She looks to you and then hesitantly reaches up and pulls down her cloak hood, and you are met as she pulls it down, it seems that some sort of magic thing happens where the original human-like appearance on her drops, and instead you are met with a person made of stone. Gray skin with sort of like marbling on her face and features. The line on her lips is proper silver, along with one on her forehead and these two longer ones that go over her eyes with dots down on the sides of her, like on her cheekbones. Her eyes look like these brilliant sort of green peridot color, almost looking exactly like gemstones. And her hair is made of these long reed-like sort of grass in her hair.
It's either a warforge or a rock chalice, earth chalice.
She looks to you, Red.
We don't know. Never seen those.
Never
Nope.
seen a Genasi before. She looks to you, Redwood, and goes, "So the runes on your arm is where you keep your spells."
I light one up for a simple gust spell.
You light up your arm, casting a gust spell. She nods. Interesting.
If I experiment with a spell enough and it takes a solid enough form, it burns itself into my arm.
I see.
As the kind of wiggles where he keeps the spellbook he made.
He made you a
No.
spellbook and you didn't take it?
Spellbook can be lost.
But so can an arm, apparently.
Well, I got it replaced.
This is probably the first time you've heard a decent counter argument to that statement. Like, a spellbook can be lost. So can your fucking arm, apparently. She finally rolls her eyes and drops the spell on Seven.
Thank you. And before you start bitching about me about sneaking up on ye, you are very suspicious. We are guests here and we've seen some shit.
I'm a guest
So
here, too.
sorry for being careful.
I'm a guest here, too.
Well, we didn't know that.
Venkashali is just like, this is also the first time that I've heard this. As, Chisel, you and Naomide finally walk down the hall together to see Venkashale, Redwood, and Shrub, and Seven surrounding this strange-looking individual made of stone with
Where's the
these.
water on the floor?
What?
Why is there
Oh, because
water
she
on the
cracks.
floor?
Right.
Yeah.
Just
Devin kind of rubbing his wrist like, "Oi, Chisel, it's the other lizard wizard thingy."
Do they have brains? Are they smart? Because it feels like that this one in particular is lacking in the intelligence department.
They are very nice.
I have a brain.
I wasn't speaking to you, small one. I was speaking about the other one.
Hi,
Hi.
I- this feels very nice. And as for me, Lassie, I have made quite a few interesting things that I think even your big, wrinkly brain would find interesting.
I just hold up the wand of fireballs. We made this.
No,
Oh, I
that's,
thought
with
that-
your that's with your father.
I thought I took it back. I said I took it back.
But you
No.
didn't. You never did.
I.
I don't remember hearing you say that you took it back, honestly.
We left your father the gun.
You gave him a weapon to keep his family safe, but never took it back. But you kind of, like, he mentioned making items with magic, and she's like, that's not something that I am unfamiliar with. She herself...
Oh, I do have something. Chisel pulls out the Valhalla horn.
Oh, you
Make
do have the
this.
Horn of Valhalla. She sees that, she nods, she goes, okay, I've seen a few of those before. It's a little scrafty made, but decently made, I guess. She goes, but I'm familiar with magical objects. She takes off a metal ring with a single gemstone in it, and you see that there are arcane writings along the band, and she slips it on her finger, and that sort of human-like disguise pops back up onto her features before she drops it again.
Yeah, see in the middle. Oh yeah, the Fae. They're all nice when you have guidance and technology far beyond our years. But okay, I just made mine in a cave
We have
with a
been
box
sort
of
of
scraps.
scuffing it out. We have been sort of scuffing it out across the countryside and up a mountain. Oh, well, I mean, we did slay a dragon, so there's something to that.
And then resurrected the dragon.
I heard tales travel quickly, especially when said dragon left the Sanctum literally this morning.
Yes. That was us.
Great. I don't know why you're being hostile. I'm simply stating that I am familiar with magic items. What is your problem?
He
Redwood
feels
is feeling
inadequate
inferior
in-
because he cannot make magical items, and Devin can, and this person reveals that they can. Redwood is like, I'm failing as a wizard.
Chisel just raises his hand. He's feeling inadequate because he can't do anything right.
Chisel, shut up.
No,
Okay.
Redwood can do things right. Redwood sets things to fire very nicely.
A druid, I'm assuming? She looks to you.
First flame of Velikutrevo.
See. Now that is definitely something I haven't seen before.
I wish I hadn't seen it either, but this is how things work.
She turns her attention to Aomide and goes, so these are the 3 individuals that you have running around to figure out the blight problem. And Aomide nods and goes, they, I promise, are a lot more equipped for this than what you have seen so far.
While our character is something that needs further refinement, our skills are not something to scoff at.
Refinement. What are you talking about?
That.
She sighs and goes, very well. I am known as Helen. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Despite the rocky start, hope we can be friends.
You say Rocky,
I
and
hope
there's
you
like
don't hold it against my companion.
you say Rocky, and there's like a look, and she's like, "Is that meant to insult me, or?"
Honestly, even I was like, I did not mean for that to be a pun. I was just being genuine.
So he's the one with the less brain.
That is
Forgive my companions,
so
they don't know
funny.
what they've done.
That's so
What did I
funny.
do? Did I do anything wrong?
No, Chisel, you were with the council. You haven't done anything.
Well, he's with us now, but he's
Yeah, no,
he's-
you said
there's
he
still
followed with
nothing.
Aomi Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see Helen kind of looks and nods and goes, right. Interesting. Well, I have come reporting from Fastiol. I was going to the catacombs down below, but unfortunately it seems that other people thought I had nefarious purposes.
Oh yeah. Are you going to look at the body too?
Yes, and I was also
Ah.
going to be doing my own personal research.
Oh, you're going to look at him as well.
Where's the stalling room?
What'd you say? Brian, you're very quiet.
Where's the sparring room?
A sparring room?
Yes.
Iomide just like it's outside. You can you can take the stairs down outside from the way that you came in, and then take the ground path outside on the left and go around the building, and it is like right there. It's a bit of a
I'll
walk.
find it when I find it. Got it. And Chisel just slowly walks away,
Okay, you leave.
knowing full well he's going to get lost somehow.
Yeah, you continue to walk and wander. We will actually get to you, Chisel, in a moment. Helen rests her hand on her spell book. You can see that she is incredibly protective of it. As she goes, I have been training my magic in and out of the Feywilds for a good several years at this point. You are looking at me as if you are seeing an alien. Wait, aliens don't exist. As you are seeing some sort of strange beast.
Some sort of strange creature in relation to an alien.
Aliens aren't a thing.
Honestly, I don't mean this to be offensive, but no. We have seen the Fae before. Full-blown Fae. I had a fucker Fae in my head for a while there.
Oh, you had personal relations with Barun.
Oh yeah, so you know him.
He's not exactly.
Why does everyone know everything about us?
It's not exactly. Barun isn't a small name within the Feywilds.
Hey.
And,
Glad he's gone, done.
and his disappearance from the Feywilds caused a bit of a stir up within its natural makeup. So.
Also, when we met the Queen of the Fae, she knew about Brotherhood. I would be surprised if she showed her
Princess.
subjects. Or princess, whichever. Some kind of high-class, important person.
Helen nods, knowing exactly what you mean when you said princess. I myself am not from the Feywilds. My
Hey.
origins rely on the plane of the elements. Specifically that of the earth.
Looking at the stone skin. Hey, I guess that checks out.
The barrier between the Feywilds and the elemental planes are very thin. I am not the first of my kind from the elemental planes to arrive here, but we are rare and very few and very far between.
Well, nice to meet you. Welcome to our realm.
Nice to
Oh,
meet
we're
you.
around. We have nachos.
We have nachos. Would
I
you
have
like?
cookies?
Would you like a cookie? She goes, I was hoping to hit both the archives and the catacombs on my own, but since you are all seeming to be here for the same reasons as I am, I shall save that for tomorrow. As I am also not in any mood to be around company at this moment.
Hey, I see. we did kind of start off with a bit of a scuffle. Hey, but in an effort to mend the bridge, he gives his last chunk of sugar bread.
She takes it from you. She's actually, I think this is actually something
I'm sending a quick message spell. This is an honor. Even if you're not happy with it, just act honored.
She takes it from you, and she seems to put it in the sleeve of her cloak, and it's like putting it away for later. But it just like completely disappears. Like there's no like sign of there being weight of the item in her cloak. It's just poof.
Wrist pocket. The spell wrist pocket.
Slightly a bit confused, then remembers, oh yeah, weird magic people. It's like, oh, alright, fine. No. Oi, Vin. Y'all got any bakers around here? People who make bread.
Yes, but it's late, and I'm sure they've already closed shop. Why?
I'm sure. Just
I'm
let me
assuming
know
this is
where
for
they are.
you. I'm assuming you're going to go in the morning, aren't you?
Aye.
If you go towards the sort of entry that you took here in the claws of the sort of rocky crags in the front, there is like a small little rounded building that's typically where they typically are up early in the morning, so they're
Okay. Oh, yeah, of course. And so near the entrance, so that's near the wilderness too, ain't it?
it's so basically what he's saying is like, do you see at the Golden Sanctum where like the stairs on the map kind of converge down into that sort of split there of the rocks? He's saying it's like right sort of in that area. It's where a good chunk of like the village actually is.
Okay, it's deep within the village. Okay.
Yeah. So he kind of just says, just take the path and you'll find it.
Hey, thank you. Devin wanders off to parts unknown.
I will say that you kind of go to stock the bakery, I'm assuming is what's happening here.
Essentially, Devin's gonna go real quick after the house, get his 4 hours of rest for his trance, and then just gonna wander the village.
Okay. You start
In the dead of night.
Yes.
you're wandering the village in the dead of night. Chisel. You're wandering around. You're trying to find the training grounds. You don't really remember the instructions Iomide gave you because there was so much happening when she was giving them to you. Take several flights of stairs, go down several hallways, twists, turns, and things like that, and you actually find yourself underground. You're not in the catacombs proper, but you think you're close to them. There is water dripping in from underground. The smell of wet earth and stone hits your senses. It's kind of musty down here too. A little
Smells like home.
a little humid as well. The torches down here are a little bit dimmer than up further in the building of the sanctum. As you move through this place, something feels off. It's like the shadows are dancing in a way that's a little unnatural for this place. The ground itself is protected by the divine. You know that for a fact. And it's a very incredibly thick barrier because not even the winter season can get into this place. And you think that this sort of barrier is going to last for thousands and thousands of years, maybe even longer. But that doesn't remove the sense of dread that fills you as you continue through this hall. And as you're moving through, there's a moment where you see something in the shadows shift. You look, you can't quite pinpoint it. But as you go further and further into the dark, the torches seem to suddenly dim even further, becoming no brighter than candles. you hear whispering of hundreds of voices coming from all sorts of directions. Do you have dark vision?
I do.
You move through.
Capacity test.
Stop! Casey! You move through this space, you continue. I don't even think you really notice that sort of gradual shift from your regular vision to night vision to dark vision. Night vision. Dark vision?
It's about the same.
That sort of feeling, this is the dread that you are currently feeling is the kind that seeps into your bones and leaves a cold sweat on your body. As you move through this space, thank you for the sound effects, Casey. As you move through this place, hearing these whispers, seeing the shapes shift, there's a point where you're walking, and it still sounds like you're walking on stone, but the space is dark, and as if you're in a vacuumous void. There's no real light here. And even with your dark vision, you can't really see your hand if it's like a few inches from your face. You move through the space. Whispers get louder. And you take one final step, and something suddenly grabs your ankle. You look down and you see a hand, withered and emaciated. It's partially decayed, but ghostly. Somewhat translucent. It grabs your ankle, and then another hand grabs you by your tunic, and another grabs your wrist, and another pulls you by your hair and pulls your head back. Hands claw at your face and at your neck and shoulders, pulling you down, and you start to feel as if you're sinking through this darkness, kind of like quicksand, or as if you're being slowly sunk into running water. You start to panic, your breathing becomes quick. I'm gonna need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Is this against magic? I have advantage if it is. That's all I'm asking.
Then just roll it.
Yeah, just roll it.
You either have hidden advantage or not.
The panic sets into your mind. You're unable to truly tell if this is a reality or if this is something that is conjured up from your fear of everything that you've seen from the past few months. You feel the one hand actually grabs your jaw, its fingers digging into the gums of your mouth as it pulls your head down along with the other. So there's two hands pulling your head back and down. As you sink further and further, you feel more hands, and then you actually start to feel an arm wrap around you. You feel something bite into your leg as you're continuously pulled down. It feels as if there's oceans of bodies just swarming on top of you, pulling you in under. And then in a cold sweat, you sit up from your spot on the ground. You're in the catacombs. You're in the light. You hear the sound of running water against stone underground. You smell the wet earth. But I think whatever happened here leaves you shaken. And that is we are going to end this session. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here for this episode of 20-Sided Archives, Chronicles of Umaria, Chapter 1, Shadowfall. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you all next time, same place, same day, same time. Goodbye!
Same bat channel.
I really wish you told me that I failed. Because I have Indomitable, and I would